It's going to... Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel Amazing Frequencies. And wow, what a few weeks I've had. And welcome today to Alison again, because we're going to do a deep dive into On Guard. We said in the last video that we would do a deep dive, or Alison will do a deep dive. I'm going to be listening. And so a big welcome, Alison.
Thank you for having me again. I love being here, so it's so lovely to see you.
There's so much to share, and I get so excited, but let me just share with you and everybody just what I've been up to with the oils since we last did our last YouTube. So what I did, because my goals are to improve the inside of me and to lose some weight, especially as I've got my big birthday next year, and I need to look fabulous. So I'm on a mission now to do all what I can to look great, feel great, and go off on my couple of trips, etc. So I bought some Metapwr Assist, right? These are the little capsule things, little tiny things. And what drew me to Metapwr, I haven't got all the products, I only bought this, was it had mulberry leaf extract in it. And I know that mulberry is really great, and it's supposed to be really good for the eyes. So that would be phenomenal if over time my eyesight improved. But that wasn't the initial reason I got it. The reason I got it was that I wanted to see if it stabilized some of the blood sugary things. And I know that there's some other great products. I'm going to buy those in time and get used to those. But I've also been using the oils. I've really been branching out here. So I bought some of these veggie caps. No, that way around, veggie caps. And I've been making up with all my set of oils and the other oils, a drop of lemon, maybe, whatever I'm drawn to, a drop of oregano, a drop of clove, maybe, grapefruit, and having one capsule a day and then one of the Metapwr. And literally, I've done that for 10 days now. I need to put a belt on my trousers. I've lost, in the first 5 days, I lost 2.5 pounds. So something is changing and I feel great. I feel lots of energy, even if I'm not having the best night's sleep. I wake up with lots of energy. So, but yes, absolutely phenomenal. So I just wanted to put that out there before we talk about On Guard.
No, that's brilliant. Sorry, I just muted myself because my little puppy just went a bit mental. Sorry. That's amazing. I've just did the Metapwr training on a long drive home, and it's fantastic. So anyone with a Doterra account can access the Doterra training. I think you've done it as well, haven't you, Judy?
Yeah, I have actually done some. I've got quite a long way through it. Yeah.
And it talks about all the citrus oils that have limonene in it and how good they are at releasing toxicity in the body. So when we have toxins in the body, if there's more coming in than there are going out, what our body actually does is wraps them in fat to protect our bodies. So often when people are losing weight and they're doing all the right things, the diet and the exercise, which we're always encouraged to do alongside everything, they can often plateau. The weight, just that last bit just won't shift. And that's often those toxins that are wrapped in the fat that your body doesn't want to let go of because it's dangerous. They're dangerous to the body. So with the oils being lipid soluble, they can penetrate that lipid, the fatty bilayer, and get onto the inside and stimulate the release of those toxins. So it's really important to drink lots of water with it. But yeah, citrus oils in water is a fantastic way of moving that stubborn, any stubborn fat that won't move, that visceral fat. And then the assist, they're talking about that, helping with the blood sugar regulation and having it with any meals, where carbs often spike our blood sugar. It basically makes the spike less and then the drop less, so it really evens it all out, the energy in the body, so it's more sustained. So obviously encouraging the eating of more complex carbs, like the whole wheat version of things, but this sort of enhances that as well. So if you are doing the more complex carbs and you do this, all of it's just compounding and helping. So really interesting training. I found it really helpful to just understand a bit deeper why it's doing what it's doing. And it's amazing that you're seeing such great results so quickly. It's fantastic.
It's just brilliant. And I'm going to persevere with the assist, and I'll bring in the other things over time. But yeah, absolutely, like, over the moon with it all. So let's see what I can get up to in the next few weeks. But right, so On Guard, this is the On Guard, which has lots of So there's lots of different products in the doTERRA range about that. So probably more than any other from what I can see. Now, all I'm using that for at the moment is in my diffuser, and that's the one that I used on Rosie Puppy for when she was a little bit scared with whatever it was, thunder or whatever it was.
Okay.
There's lots more, isn't there? So
yeah,
what
so
else
I usually use ones like lavender or balance, like the calming ones. So it's interesting you went for On Guard, which is, I mean, it's the protective blend. Then it has clove in there, which is the oil of boundaries, so it sort of protects you energetically as well as all the physical element of it. So yeah, an interesting other way of looking at that to help her. Yeah, brilliant. So I love this oil, and as you said, there's lots of different products with it. So a lot of cleaning products, the laundry detergent. I use the On Guard toothpaste, it's incredible. There's hand wash, which is brilliant as well. So all the different things, there's lozenges, there's beadlets, there's capsules that you can take that have also got some extra antiviral oils in there, so if you're feeling unwell. So definitely a whole range worth looking at, but we'll just sort of focus on the oil for today because there's enough to say just about it. Oh, my fuzzy screen. Here we go. So it is a blend. So with doTERRA, they have single oils, things like lemon and peppermint. You sort of know what they're from and what they are sort of going to smell like, or maybe a little bit about what they can do. But when they're blends, there's a few different oils in there. So you've got all the properties from all the oils. So I always think the blends are like powerhouse bottles of oil, and they're usually designed to support a particular need. So for example, the Serenity, it has got all the calming oils in there, and that's really good for sleep and anxious feelings and helping you feel calm. So the On Guard is the protective blend, and it's there to support and protect the body. So that's on a physical and an emotional level. So it's got wild orange, cinnamon, eucalyptus, rosemary, and clove. Very, very powerful oils. And if I'm feeling under the weather, if I get like a scratchy throat, or I can often feel like behind my ears, like my lymph nodes, if I know that there's something coming, I literally will get this straight on my body. I put a couple of drops on my feet. I'll make up the flu bomb. Did we talk about the flu bomb last?
We did. I think we did. I can't remember what went in it though. Was that the one that we make up a veggie cap with?
Yeah, so it's flu bomb, like FLOO. So it's frankincense, lemon, On Guard, and oregano, and then you add tea tree and thyme if you want as well into there, because they're great to support the body. So yeah, you either put a drop of each into one of the veggie caps, or I have a big spray bottle that I'll spray up the spine and on my feet as well. So that's just a nice way, sort of protective. I've sprayed that up the kids' back before. There's one by the front door, so I literally spray it the back and off they go. Or on the feet, they each have one. I say put it on your feet each morning before you put your socks on. So when they don't remember, that's when I spray them at the door up the spine. But yeah, very, very powerful. So On Guard is a blend within that blend, and it's got clove in there as the world's most powerful antioxidant. So we know that antioxidants are good for us, but often people don't know why. Do you have any knowledge around antioxidants?
A little bit,
yeah. What are they good for? What do you use them for? What antioxidants do you know of?
Antioxidants that I know of. What, in terms of foods?
Yeah, food, sorry. Yeah,
blueberry,
yeah, blueberries,
broccoli, all the greens.
Yeah, exactly. So things that are really vibrant in color in nature generally are high in antioxidants, and then we sort of think of them as superfoods. So what they do, antioxidants stabilize free radicals in our body. So free radicals are what I call like the sort of rebels or the naughty cells in the body. And what happens is they come in from some sort of disruptions, whether that's a virus or pollution or toxicity. And so smoking is one of the highest things that causes free radicals. So what they have is if you've got a cell and you've got, not a cell, a molecule or an electron, what are the words? I'm losing the right words. But anyway, it's got two charges around it, two electrons that charging around it. And if one of those is missing, then that is a free radical. So it's basically unbalanced. And what it does, it's been attacked, it's full of toxicity. And so what it does to find its own stabilization is it goes to find another one to latch onto so that it's stable. So it steals, latches onto and magnetizes to another one. So it's got two. But what actually means it's now there's two of them. and between them they've got 3, so the whole thing is now unstable. So together they go off and look for another one to latch onto. So that's why when you sort of start to feel unwell, you might have a bit of a scratchy throat, but you're fine to go out. You still, go out and can still talk and whatever, but you sort of know, nobody else would know looking at you. And then it sort of spirals and compounds and snowball effects into the point where you're not feeling well. But often we get those signs really, really early on. So that's when they haven't really taken over at that point. So antioxidants, what they do is they literally vacuum up those spare electrons. So where there's a single one going around, it will actually absorb it, and it just decapacitates that. It kills off. It completely disempowers it. And so we have things like, foods are measured on something called the ORAC scale. So it's oxygen radical absorption capacity. So literally its ability, its capacity to absorb those single electrons. That's how things are measured in terms of its antioxidantiness, which is not a word. But say blueberries, they measure 2,400 on the antioxidant scale, on the ORAC scale. So pomegranates measure even higher at 3,000. So these are known as those superfoods. So if you can take these early on in to destabilize things before it can actually stop things progressing. So clove is the world's most powerful antioxidant, especially in its essential oil form, because essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than the herb itself. So have a guess, what do you reckon on the ORAC scale clove would measure?
10,000?
10,000? It's a good guess. It's a lot higher than that. Any other guess?
50?
50,000? Not even close. So it's 1,078,500. That's where clove essential oil sits on the ORAC scale. The next highest thing on the planet is myrrh, which is also, in its essential oil form, which is about 500,000. So that's about half of what clove is, and that's still untouchable compared to these foods. So you're looking at the power of clove to destabilize stuff that's going wrong in your body and to bring it back. So that's one of the oils in On Guard, and it's one of the reasons why it's so fantastic at getting it on your body as soon as you start to feel any sort of discomfort. So if anyone in our house is a little bit sniffly, we'll pop it in the diffuser, because it will then disperse in the air, and it actually eliminates airborne pathogens. So it stops like spreading. It's great if you've got little babies, and you want to, just keep the environment very immune friendly, if you're having people come into your house, because often people might have a scratchy throat and you wouldn't know. So I love to diffuse On Guard when I've got people coming over, because I know it's protecting the family. We make our own hand sanitizer from it. So it's very, very powerful in terms of a cleanser. It's actually been shown, you can look on PubMed, it eliminates the H1N1 virus in an in vitro study by 97%. So that's basically the flu virus. It's very, very powerful. We had a doctor come over from Germany and speak at our last training, and she's been doing some her own tests, and she's been testing on mold. So I've seen videos where people have, got pieces of bread and they've left it, in just out or in a plastic bag. They've tried like bleaches, and they've tried On Guard, and the On Guard will literally keep that piece of bread free from mold for months and months and months. Like, it's amazing. You can literally see for yourself in the bag. But she took that a lot further, and she's been doing a lot of tests. She's done it with chicken poo. She's been testing it against hospital grade disinfectants, and she said and she tested it with the product on first, and then the chicken poo, or then the mold, or whatever microbes she's been using, and then the other way around, and like just really recording all the results of everything. And she says the On Guard essential oil blend itself is the most powerful disinfectant that is available, more than the hospital grade stuff. So amazing. And that's why they've got all the cleaning range, they've got the cleaner concentrate, the laundry liquid, amazing, powerful cleanser. But what I love is that it's an amazingly powerful cleanser, but it's safe to ingest. So I can clean my chopping board, and it's going to really eliminate anything on there, keep it completely safe, but it's literally just food products. So
when you clean your chopping board, are you just using like a little spray thing? Are you putting that in water?
So I just have a glass spray bottle, and I do a little bit of vinegar. I do a little bit of the On Guard cleaner concentrate, just as a detergent, just a tiny squirt, and then in a 500 ml bottle I'll put about 30 drops of oil. So I usually do like lemon and On Guard. I think it smells nice. You can do whatever you like, really. and then just top it up with water, and that's it. And you can spray that, and then it's safe to put food straight on it. I use it in my food, so drop in my porridge is gorgeous because it's got that cinnamon and clove and orange, and it's really beautiful. A drop of it in your red wine, it tastes like mulled wine. I actually made some mulled wine at Christmas, and I used the On Guard as a way to spice it, and I did it in the slow cooker, and it was just lovely. So really, really versatile, amazing, and just such a powerful powerful cleanser, but powerful at keeping us well, basically. So brilliant to make your own hand sanitizer. They do sell a ready-made hand sanitizer, so it's blurry, you can't see, but I just make my own, which is literally just On Guard and a bit of water in a spray, and I add like a little bit of vitamin E or a little bit of some sort of something to make it a little bit smoother when you rub it in, but you don't need to. I actually use the same thing as a sore throat spray, so I will use the hand sanitizer. You wouldn't think of that, you know, when you think of how toxic store-bought hand sanitizers are, but because it's literally that, and I'll spritz of that in a little bottle. Like, have I got one? I haven't got one to hand, but just a little spray bottle, and yeah, just spray that in my mouth if I've got a sore throat. They also have the On Guard beadlets, so there's a quarter of a drop of On Guard in. Oh, two have just fallen out. These are teeny tiny, might not be able to see those, but there's a quarter of a drop in that, and crunch it in my teeth, and that just coats the throat so lovely. And that cinnamon and clove is quite bitey, so it's really soothing. And this is a great emergency hand sanitizer as well, because you can literally just pop it in your hand and just rub that through, and that's a really great, really handy little tiny thing to have in your handbag, that makes it super convenient as well.
Would that also be good? I'm thinking of what oils or what I might do when I go abroad next year. And I know that I remember listening to somebody who talked about, you know, food in hotels, etc., and amoebas and bits and pieces that just exist. So I'm guessing from what you're saying that would be quite a good idea to even take some of those beadlets to have after a meal in a restaurant abroad.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep everything flowing, and
absolutely, protecting your body from anything that might be under threat. But also the Zengest is really good for soothing the tummy for anything when you're abroad. If I was abroad eating other people's food, I'd definitely be taking the Zengest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, absolutely, for keeping things sanitary and clean. When I was traveling from the UK back to Australia on March the 13th, 2020, I sprayed my aeroplane seat with On Guard something chronic. Every single thing that I was touching, every time I touched anything, I was On Guarding my hand, just every part of me, and anything that I touched. I had On Guard inside of my mask when I was on the plane, which is the only time I've worn a mask, but we won't go into that. But yeah, it's very, very powerful one, beautiful one to be able to keep yourself protected, and also it's physically, there to sort of ward off pathogens, but it's also amazing emotionally. And what we've found is a lot of people, we know a lot of air hostesses, we've got a lot of air hostesses on our team, and teachers and childcare workers and nurses, a lot of people like that on our team, and they obviously use the On Guard because they want to protect themselves, because they're constantly surrounded by people with germs, basically. But what they all found is those environments are all also very highly charged, where you're dealing with a lot of people's emotions, and especially with kids, or when people are sick, or on planes, in a small container. And what they all literally come back and say, when I'm wearing the On Guard, I feel like I'm living in this bubble. I feel like I'm just walking around in this bubble, and everybody's stuff just sort of pings off my bubble, and I'm not absorbing their negative energies. So especially with, when there's kids and they're high energy, they just feel like they can deal with that so much better, because we find it's really good for empaths who tend to absorb other people's energy. It's protective in the physical sense, but it's really protective in this emotional sense as well. So people that work in maybe not the most positive office environments, and they've got people around them with not the best energies. Diffuse the On Guard, it's keeping you well, but it's also protecting you, you know, from other people's energy and that negative group thought, and just keeps you, you know, because clove itself is actually the oil of boundaries. So it's literally creating this boundary around you. It's got tea tree, which is the oil of energetic disconnection. So it's like not taking on other people's stuff. So it's a really beautiful one to use in, right across the board, physically, emotionally, spiritually, every way.
Wow, and wow again. This made me look at this little bottle in a whole new light. And
there is a lot to say about this one.
yeah, I think I need to expand what I might use this for. I need to and I think I'm gonna pop down and get some bottles so that I can start, you know, using these for sprays, particularly in the kitchen, but just around. And I will start putting this in the diffuser because I love that. I think that's amazing, really. So great.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow. And I know there was a lot to say about that one, so we're just going to cover the one for today because it's quite an in-depth.
Because it is it's a lot to think about, isn't it? You know, I'm probably going to have to re-listen to everything and make a few notes myself, because there's so many bits and pieces. And what I'll do is I'm going to just in case anyone wants to look at all the different products in the range, I'll create one of those little links that creates to a basket, only so that you can sort of see what's there and then have a look yourselves, not for anything else. It's just to make it easy.
Because the On Guard does come as one of the 10 oils in the starter kit. So it's absolute must in any home, every single home. I really feel it's an absolute must. And it comes with all the starter kits. It has to.
The starter kit's proving to be, I'm literally working my way through those oils in different ways, mainly in the veggie cap. But I think my next thing is to expand my thinking another little bit with all of it. And I did have a drop of lemon oil and ginger oil, and I made like a little lemon and ginger tea, which I thought was great, because the amount of time I buy lemons and root ginger and then it goes off. By the time I thought about it, I'm just a bit of a, you know, I have tea a lot, so I have to really think hard if I'm going to not have a cup of tea. But the other day I thought to myself, no, and it was really, really pleasant. It was just fine. So I've now got peppermint tea, and now I've got lemon and ginger tea. So
beautiful. I found that at the beginning I'm much better now as I look at my lovely plants behind here. But when I first started with the oils and a busy mum of 3 tiny children, I basically couldn't keep any plants alive, any herbs, everything just died, just didn't have capacity for it. And I just thought, thank goodness for these oils, because I've got lemongrass, I've got thyme, I've got rosemary, I've got ginger, I've got, access, I don't think I'd even know where to buy bergamot or, these things, and I've got access to them. They don't go off, and they're sitting on my shelf, and I can have as much or as little as I want in, in a very concentrated format anytime. And like I say, it doesn't go off. It's brilliant. So for anybody who can't keep plants alive, it definitely.
And you mentioned bergamot. Bergamot is one of my, I bought the bergamot oil because I know from my travels that bergamot is really good for lungs, breathing, coughs. It's a very, very special oil. So I've actually added that into mine now. So if I get a tickle or whatever, then I can, literally I'll just put a couple of drops into some hot water.
Amazing. And that's the same taste as Earl Grey tea. That's what they make, Earl Grey tea. Yeah. But it's also the oil of self-acceptance. So an absolute must in any emotional toolkit. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Really interesting. Well, right. I guess we had better sign off for now, because there's lots to take in there. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to expand into the next stage of things, see how my Metapwr goes, and I'm very, very impressed with all of that. And then we'll touch base again, hopefully, and we'll go through another oil or two and see what else these oils are just brilliant for, because they are. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And yeah, so thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
And,
Thank you for having me again.
And I hope everybody has enjoyed listening today, and we'll be back maybe in a couple of weeks' time.
Perfect. We'll see
Fabulous.
you then. Thanks so much, Judy.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.